that. Shall I start?
Yes, Jai Baba.
Let's start with a small prayer. Avtar Meher Baba ki Jai. Beloved Meher Baba, please be with us. Give us the pleasure of your presence, your company, your love, your darshan, and guide us. Jai Baba. Beloved God, help us all to love you more and more, and more and more, and still yet more, till we become worthy of union with you, and help us all to hold fast to Baba's Daman till the very end. Avtar Meher Baba ki Jai. Loving Jai Baba to all, we are reading Meher Baba's early messages to the West. And we have finished part 1 last session on 20th June. And part 1 was consisting 6 interviews given by Meher Baba. Today we will start with part 2. And we'll start with the introduction to part 2. You can see this well-known, renowned editors, writers from West. So their interviews, their articles have been included in this part 2. Apart from this, there are around 32 pages. I don't know how to go about it. You can give me suggestions. Whatever was published there in various magazines like Liberty, Sunday Express, and all the renowned magazines and newspapers. So everything it is published here, those are in the form of pictures. We'll see to it how we go about it. Right now, we'll start reading. If Betty can present pages, fine. Any else we will start. This is introduction to part 2. We are on page number 25. While Meher Baba's first visit to Europe and America in the autumn of 1931 was conducted privately without public meetings or interviews with the press, his second tour from March to July 1932 precipitated nothing less than a media extravaganza. High-profile articles about the new Masiha bloomed on the pages of many of the leading newspapers and magazines of the period. Appendix 1 produces a hefty selection of these specimens. There are around 32 pages they have given in Appendix 2. Appendix 1, we'll see to it how we can go about it. And we have seen that in Baba's first tour, he preferred to give private, personal interviews and remain aloof from media and publicity. And that way, those are the master's ways. He was establishing contacts in the West. And then next tour, it was all publicity, interviews, publications, and in the newspapers and magazines and all of that. The wonderful thing is, when we travel, we go ahead, we'll see through these pages. Those who came for Baba's interview or meeting Baba were not all Baba lovers. They were not knowing Baba. They wanted to know what Baba is. They came out of curiosity or inquisitive mind, or with the aim of exposing Baba if he is a fraud, and how they had beautiful experience. That all we'll see in this part, along with the articles, beautiful article. Part 2 starts with article of Charles C. Purdom. We all know, and his Baba literature. So the first article is his. We'll continue with the introduction. Part 2 culls from this bumper harvest 6 items that are especially distinctive in one way or another. The first, Charles Purdam's A Perfect Master, published in the September 24, 1931 issue of Everyman, page 272 and 274, could be characterized as the original literary introduction of the author of the age to the British public at the historical moment when he first set foot on Western soil. Purdam's initial contact led him to become a follower and disciple, and he remained so until his death in 1965. Isn't it wonderful? At the same time, as the editor of Everyman and the author of numerous books, he was and remained a strong voice in the cultural commentary during the decade before World War II and the 2 decades thereafter. We are on page 26. The second and third items in part 2 pertain to an interview that Meher Baba had with James Douglas, a leading writer and religious editor for the Daily Express in London on April 9, 1932, at the outset of Baba's second highly publicized World Tour. Approaching the much ballyhooed Masiha with deep reservations, planning indeed to trap him with carefully prepared and challenging questions, Douglas was quite astonished when he met Baba in person. His interview, A Talk with the Strange Masiha, appeared as a major spread with photographs on the front page of the April 10 issue of the Sunday Express, one of the leading London newspapers of that time. And this is interesting article. Lovely it is. The disciple who interpreted Baba's dictation on the alphabet board on that occasion was Premrose Dadachandji, and 11 years later, in his Gujarati biography, Chandji, as he is generally known, gave his own full account of this interview. While Chandji's record includes most of the exchanges from the published article, it provides other backgrounds as well, which make for interesting reading. Chandji's narrative was translated and slightly abrogated by Noshavan Anza in the February 1980 issue of Glow International, pages 13 to 17. We quote from the translation here. We must get that copy of Chandji biography. I have asked Havobi today only if she has one. During this same 1932 London visit, Meher Baba was interviewed by another writer with interests in spirituality and mysticism, Rome Landau, who recalled his experience in God is my adventure. God is my adventure, a book on modern mystics, masters, and teachers. Into bracket London, Ivor Nicholson and Watson, 1935, page number 130 to 148. The selection quoted here is taken from pages 131 to 134. In fact, by the time the book was published, 3 years after the actual interview, Paul Bruton's highly critical account of Meher Baba in a search in Secret India, into bracket, based on his meetings with Baba in Nasik and Mehrabad in late 1930 and early 1931, had already reached the literary marketplace, and Landau's own point of view reflects this influence. It seems, moreover, that Meher Baba had declined to answer Landau's questions during their meeting. Baba didn't answer his questions, who was already working in mysticism and spirituality. Baba did have answers sent to him several days later, however, in the form of a letter, and Landau quotes extracts. These passages seem to be authentic, and Landau's account, on the whole, is representative of some of the adverse, though on the whole journalistically responsible press coverage of the period. Sailing from London on May 1932, Meher Baba arrived in New York for a 3-week cross-continental America tour that again was extensively covered by the press. While in New York, Baba was interviewed by Frederick Collins, a well-published author who evinces no spatial spiritual orientation, but seems to have approached the perfect master merely as an interesting and perhaps somewhat exotic journalistic subject. Much to his own surprise, Collins, like Douglas, was profoundly affected by what he found. His interview, which records Baba's comments on non-spiritual topics such as divorce and prohibition, was published in the August 27 issue of Liberty magazine, pages 26 to 27. At that time, one of the foremost weekly magazines in America. In India also, this used to get Liberty magazine and Sunday Free Press. See the interesting fact, someone came just with the curiosity, someone came to expose Baba, someone came with the spirituality, all different views. Part 2 closes with 2 paragraphs from a short article that Christmas Humphreys published in Buddhism in England, volume 16, number 4, November to December 1941, page 77, entitled The Man of Love. Interesting. By this time, the 40-year-old British barrister had become, and for the rest of his life, his long life remained probably the best known Buddhist convert in England. His article recalls vivid memories from his meeting with Baba 10 years earlier during Baba's first visit to the West in 1931. So here we go with the part two, and first article by our dear Charles Spurgeon.
Mayor Krug, I'm so sorry. I was not, now that we can email, I can post those pages, but I can't, I could not post these pages today because from
Yeah,
WhatsApp.
it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. You want me to email you?
Gmail, that, yeah, I'm just sending you now. But for next time, I think better, yeah? Or if you have now, it's okay. If you send now, I can post now. Whatever you prefer is good.
As per your convenience, I don't mind posting, and I don't mind reading also. As it is, they are articles. So there is nothing to explain much. We'll just read them.
Okay, good.
But if you want me, I can mail you within 2 minutes. Mm, But I have to have your email ID. Sorry, I am not getting it.
Betty, that's happening again.
Sorry,
Oh,
there
mean
is a
the-
echo.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know what, okay, I'll.
Yeah. Can you please write it here? I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm troubling you. Please write it here on chat. I will send it right now. Or else we'll continue. Yeah. Okay, Baba Lemon says, I was searching with the name of Betty. I'm sorry. Okay, Baba Lemons. Fine. Okay, thank you. And sorry for this disturbance. We'll just finish it. Just give me a second. Mm. So that whoever is interested can also read. I don't know whether you have received it. Just confirm me. It has given message sent. Just see whether you have received it. And meanwhile, I'll continue reading just to save time of others. Just check. I have just now sent it. A Perfect Master. We are on page number 28 by Charles Purdom. Beautiful, nice article. I interrupt the sequence of these articles to relate something of importance. My object in this series has been to give an outline of practical thought and action that would be of use to those who desire to get rid of the aimlessness of their lives. What a noble object. For that reason, I have considered the individual in relation to the actual circumstances of life today and have avoided generalizations as much as possible. When I started, I proposed to draw on my own experience, using also the knowledge I had of what the philosophers have said and what religion has taught us. I had not, however, been in personal contact with a great teacher. I did not know where such a teacher was to be found. There were books, of course, of scripture and poetry and the wise things that some people of our own time had written, but there is no one to whom I could have gone or I could have recommended others to go for wisdom. Now, quite unexpectedly, and partly as a consequence of what I have already written, I have actually met a teacher, and it is about him that I wish to write this week. So lovely. He says he has read something from the religion and all that, but he has not yet met any teacher. Baba was his first and last teacher, the perfect one, the highest of the high. He came to the right point, maybe because of his past karmas, good karmas. He was destined to come to Baba. Baba searched him, we can say. Baba came all along so long to meet him, getting to in his contact. So, because he became Baba's disciple and lifelong till his death, he was with Baba. Such a precious gift of his life he got, I think. So, when Baba says we don't have to go anywhere in search of any master, people often ask how to find out Sadguru, how to know that he is Sadguru. No need to go in search of any perfect master. If we are really prepared, Master himself will come to us. Master himself find us out, as it happened with Charles Spurgeon. Isn't it beautiful? Further, we'll continue our reading. What we want, all we modern men and women, is not sound advice or original ideas or profound thought, but experience. We want what will help us to live. We do not want someone who can help us to think more clearly or even one who can tell us what to do. We want something done. We want exhibited as a reality the life that we are deeply conscious ours ought to be. We want, that is to say, not an intellectual demonstration of the truth, but the truth itself. So very important. We know that since science teaches or can get that knowledge, and we know what the sages say, we do not need to know anymore. We want the evidence of knowledge put into practice. So very important. He has perfectly told what is the mentality or the need of the base at that time. We don't want any teachings, but we want the teacher. We don't want to know, but we want to experience, which is very, very important. And Baba himself was for that there. Next page, page number 29. It is here that the need of a teacher is felt. Only someone with a consciousness greater than ours can take us the necessary step further. So very important. Baba has explained this in discourses and other literature. The one who is on the third plane can take you maximum up to the third plane, not more than that. So who is higher than us? A perfect master. If at all you want to make a guru, master, it should be only a perfect master, Sadguru, not anyone. So that's very perfectly he has mentioned here, Mr. Charles Spurgeon. Only someone with a consciousness. Yeah, it is. Now we are on page number 29, and it's the first para. It starts with, it is here. Yeah. Yeah. It starts with, it is here. Okay, by the time. So only someone with a consciousness greater than ours, whose consciousness is greater than ours, only can help us, take us further. The world has always had its teachers, of that we can be sure. What the poets and philosophers have said, and the great men of action have done, have not sprung simply from nothing. Our greatest master in the West has been Christ. He was more than a teacher, and I do not dispute that, but a teacher he was. There have been other lesser teachers among us since. In the East, which is God conscious to an extent that is completely foreign to the West, there have been a number of great teachers. Buddha was one. There have been others, most of them unknown. For the perfect masters of the spiritual life do not always show themselves to the world. Their work is done in secret. This is very, very important. We cannot find out where are the perfect masters. We cannot search them. And we are not capable of knowing their status. And as Baba said, India is the land of spirituality. Maybe because it is nearest to the creation point compared to the other side of the world, as Baba says in Creation and Causes. So many teachers and many avatars and many perfect masters were in India and in specific again in Maharashtra, as Baba says. The same thing here, Charles Padam has been mentioned. Yeah, thank you. Lovely. I have been brought by what seemed to be chance. Yes, perfect. But no doubt deserves some other name into personal contact with a perfect master from the East. He has come to Europe because of the grave troubles of the time and because he has something to do in the crisis upon which we have just entered. He knows that we are ready for a great spiritual outburst. This is important. I said a moment ago that we do not need more knowledge, but there is one knowledge that we do need. That is knowledge of God or the ultimate reality. In that knowledge, everything else is contained. How beautiful, what a clear understanding he had. If we had it, our lives would be lifted to their highest level. The perfect masters have that knowledge. The perfect master of whom I speak has that knowledge. He is a perfect master because he is united with the unconscious, that is, with God. He has conscious knowledge of God. He has come to the West, leaving his seclusion in India to get men and women to turn their minds in these times of great anxiety from the outer world of material things to the inner world of the spirit, where all problems of the material world are solved. This perfect master arrived in England quietly 12 days ago and went to an isolated place in the country where only a few people know of his presence. Here, I'll take a small break. There are so many important things Charles Padam has mentioned here beautifully, which shows his already depth of knowledge of spirituality or in God, we can see. That perfect masters have that perfect knowledge. If we had that perfect knowledge, we would have been the highest. We would not been here. We will not be living this life. This is one of the important point. And now the he knows that we are ready for a great spiritual outburst. That West is now ready for the spiritual outburst. The West was going through severe troubles and problems at that time. And as it is said, when there is such a situation, God descends as avatar, take human form. Again, Charles Padam has mentioned here that he is the one, he is introducing Baba to this new word, to this word of Western word, that he is the one who have that perfect knowledge. He has already mentioned as Baba as a perfect master. We have to remember, but Baba had not declared himself as avatar till that time. And he also mentions here one important thing. He is united with unconscious, that is God. So this is the beyond God state about which the Mr. Padam is mentioning here. That being avatar, being perfect master, he is aware and constantly conscious of the beyond state of God and that unconscious state of God when he himself is consciously conscious about Godhood. Whether Sadguru, whether avatar. Sadguru, man to God, gets this conscious knowledge he is conscious, he attains this knowledge of Godhood. So he consciously conscious about his Godhood, but at the same time, he is also conscious about the unconscious state of God, that is the beyond God state, is a very important point. And I wonder, when it was his first visit with Baba, how can he write to the how can he, Mr. Divakar Junivar, you will get it in our early messages WhatsApp group. Are you in the WhatsApp group early messages? We have a WhatsApp group early messages. There you will get all these pages. You go to that group and you go to page number 29. And you can read as well here if you are finding difficult to read from your mobile. It is in your group also. We had got permission from Trust to post these pages there. So this is very important point. When this was his first meeting with Baba, how such a high level things and in-depth knowledge of spirituality he can write about in a simple one sentence. I really wonder that he is united with unconscious, that is God. He has conscious knowledge of God, is the very beautiful thing. The perfect master arrived. Okay, we'll continue our reading. The fourth line from down. The driver of the taxi which took him through London said to the friend, this is very important, very loving, very interesting. The driver of the taxi which took him, Miss Baba, through London said to the friend who accompanied him as he received his fare, the taxi driver who took Baba to London, he says, the taxi driver says to his friend, that was a remarkable gentleman. I felt it was a privilege to drive him. Without any knowledge about God, whom he is driving, it was his good fortune that he drove a avatar of the age. He was not aware of it, but he got this good fortune. Yet, Sri Sadguru Meher Baba, for that is this perfect master's name. Now we are on page number 30. Perfect master's name had not spoken a word. Baba was silent. In fact, he has not spoken a word for 7 years and does not purpose to speak. No, Baba had started his silence in 1925. And this is the period of 1932. I'm sorry, I'm troubling Betty because I think in sending through the WhatsApp, with the pages got up and down, I don't know. I'm so sorry. Next time I'll be careful. We are on page number 30 and first para starts with Meher Baba. Meher Baba has not come to this country with a message or to give lectures or to found a new sect or a new religion. There is too much talking, he says, and there are plenty of religions. He has come to impart his knowledge of God to those who wish to receive it, imparting knowledge of God for those who are prepared to receive it. And it is a job of only those who are bold, because spiritual path is not easy, as Baba says, very with so many hardships. He has come to impart his knowledge of God to those who wish to receive it. His method is simple. He says to the inquirer, what I am, you are. What I am, you are. This seems nothing at all, but coming from him with the unmistakable spiritual certainty that he possesses, it comes as a shock. What he does is to get the seeker after truth to look into his own heart to find it. Look within our own heart. Baba always says, don't try to search what is within you. You will not find it outside. I am within you. And same thing here, Charles has mentioned, look into your heart to find him so lovely. And what is more significant, he gives him the power to find it. That is very important. Charles says, Baba gives that power to find God in our heart. So lovely. For from Meher Baba, there flows power. He has no startling things to say. All that he does say is communicated by signs and pointing to letters on a board. It is sufficient to be in his presence to know the truth. He does not need to speak. He has the power of truth in him. In 1955 Sahwas, Baba says, what is Sahwas? Intimacy. Don't think that I'll be sitting on a high dais, you'll be sitting in front of me, I'll be giving you lectures and discourses and teaching. Nothing of the sort will happen here. Just be in my company. Let me watch you. You too watch me. And so much you will be given. So much you will learn and unlearn that you have already learned, that so many lectures and teachers cannot teach. So important it was. Just being in Baba's company and receiving his love. It cannot be heard. It cannot be felt. We cannot touch it. We cannot see it. But it is very important. Baba himself has told, being in his company just teaches us, learns, makes us learn so many things. And the same thing is told by Mr. Padam here. It is sufficient to be in his presence to know the truth. He does not need to speak. His silence is so lively. Whoever had Baba's darshan always used to say, I used to ask my parents, they said, we never felt Baba was silent. There was no need of words. Words are gross words. Of this word, that is not required for God, because silence is his origin. God's origin is silence. If at all God gives us darshan, will it be in the form of something? No. We have to feel it. Likewise, we have to listen his voice in our heart. Next para, in appearance. In appearance, Meher Baba is rather under medium height. He describes, because he is introducing West, he is introducing Baba to West. So he is describing how Baba looks. In appearance, Meher Baba is rather under medium height. His skin is not very dark. He has dark brown hair, which he wears long, and for a full mustache. He is 38 years old. His eyes are large and beaming, lighting up his face, which irradiates happiness. Baba's eyes were ocean of happiness, such a love, such a happiness was in his eyes, magical eyes. He has a great sense of fun and is said to be a first-rate cricketer. He combines the simplicity of a child with the wisdom of ages. So nice. He combines the simplicity of a child with the wisdom of the ages. He is willing at present to receive anyone who comes to him with a sincere mind. But he does not care to exhibit himself. So important. He does not care to exhibit himself, but he is ready to receive who has come with a sincere mind. It is not to be thought that he is an impracticable mystic out of touch with everyday affairs. His knowledge includes even the concerns of ordinary men and women. He is one who brings into the conscious world of commonplace things experience of the unconscious. He has, that it is to say, a balanced existence. And that is the beauty of this avatar, and so beautifully described by Mr. Pardam in such a small sentence. A balanced existence. Why? Because this Baba has never said to discard this word and worldly affairs and gross word and affairs of the gross world. Never. Because God, everything is in God. Even this materialistic world is also in God. Rather, this materialistic world, in a way, helps us to develop our consciousness and transform it from human consciousness to the divine consciousness. And that's the beauty. So when we in Sahvas or otherwise, we used to go to Baba and meet him, or we used to go to Mandali and meet them. They never gave us big lectures and spirituality and all those things. He will simply so lovingly smile. He will ask, how are you? Did you sleep well? Did you eat well? How is your health? And Mandli also, I remember when we used to go to them, in which class you are, oh, this is your nice frock, and how much marks you have scored. And Baba also, simple things he used to ask, simplicity. This worldly matters, that is just a simplicity. I have had, it's not that I am God, Avatar, I know all, so why should I ask whether he slept well or ate well? No. I have had several conversations with him. This is last para on this page number 30. I have had several conversations with him, but as I have said, to talk truth with him is not the important matter. It is sufficient to be in the same place. He asked me if I knew the poems of Kabir, the 15th century Muhammad mystic. I was able to tell him that I did. And I quote from Rabindranath Tagore's translation of one of the poems, the description of a perfect master. How beautiful. He says, there is no need of conversation and talking about truth and spirituality when you are in the company of Baba. He has asked Padam whether he knows Kabir, because Baba knows. He already had studied and read this. And very aptly, so nicely, what we call the call of the hour. So Pardam sings a poem of Rabindranath Tagore, which are very beautiful, which describes the perfect master. He says he has read Kabir, he has read Muhammad. Now page number 31. He is the real Sadguru, who can reveal the form of the formless to the vision of these eyes, who teaches the single way of attaining them, that is other than rites and ceremonies, who does not make you close the doors and hold the breath and renounce the word, who makes you pursue the Supreme Spirit wherever the mind attaches itself. who teaches you to be still in the midst of all your activities. So very important. How nicely Mr. Padam is introducing Baba to the Western world in 1931 or 32. Baba is not telling you to be out of the gross world, who teaches you to be still in the midst of all. Yeah, you were right there. Yeah, it's a little up. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth line from the top on the page 31. Yeah, he is the real Sadguru. It starts with this line. He is the real Sadguru who can reveal the form of the formless to the vision of these eyes, who teaches the single way of attaining them, that is other than rites or rituals. He has taught the way of love. No need of rites and rituals. He is not telling us to close the doors of the materialistic world, but be in the word, but don't be of the word. So important. He has all the essence Baba has given in this beautiful article, who teaches you to be still in the midst of all your activities, ever immersed in bliss, having no fear in his mind. He gives the spirit of union in the midst of all enjoyments, the infinite dwelling in the finite being. The infinite dwelling in the infinite being is everywhere in earth, water, sky, and air. Firm as the thunderbolt, the seat of the seeker is established above the void. He who is within is without. I see him and none else. So beautiful. Baba says, God is within and without. The same thing is mentioned by Mr. Padam here. He is he who is within and without. That describes Meher Baba better than anything I or perhaps anyone else could write. He makes no demands on anyone. He demands nothing. He is not asking you to bow down to him, to fold the hands. He is not asking you to offer coconut, perform puja, nothing. He wants only love. But he makes no demands on anyone, but those who come to him for help have to be prepared to do what he says. Obedience, which may be severe. The way to truth is simple, but it is very hard. For the way to know God is to know oneself, to face oneself in one's own inner consciousness, and then renouncing everything to let God flood the soul. How beautiful. Meher Baba is master of one knowledge, which is God. But that knowledge includes everything else. In the knowledge of God, all the secrets of the world also includes. The rules that he gives, so far as he gives any at all, are meditation, selfless service, and pure intention. He does not ask the Christian to cease being a Christian, but to be a true follower of Christ. This is to do what Christ said. He does not ask the skeptical man or woman of today to accept any dogma, but in the spirit of humility to obey the God in his heart. What Meher Baba says, the mystics of the Western would have said, he also lives it. Baba says, oh, obedience. Obedience out of love. He has never asked anyone to abandon your religion, but to be true to that religion. But he also says, what is there now to observe in the religion? Whatever religions now we know in the world are, none of the religion is in its original form. Only husk has remained. Over the ages, whatever was initially formed and said has been diluted and made different. Different ceremonies, different rituals, different dogmas, which were never told. And that's why there is no point in following any rituals and ceremonies, because it is not in its original form. So what we will follow will be just us. And that way is too long and too hard, he says. What he says, now we'll go on page number 32. What he says, the psychologists of the West have also said in part, but he interprets their theories in practical life. It may be strange to find a great spiritual teacher from the East speaking in terms that belong to our scientific textbooks, but it is stranger still, and this is the overwhelming fact about Meher Baba, that he is the one whose word is alive with the spirit. This is so very important. His word, non-spoken word, given by gestures and on the alphabet boards, are alive with the spirit. And Baba himself has told, as he told about his darshan and films, as we all know, Baba said, whoever hadn't his physical, his darshan in his physical form, if they see his films, it is as good as having his darshan in the physical form, right? The same way, Baba had also said that he has given so much spiritual power in his literature that whoever reads them, whether with understanding or without understanding, will be spiritually benefited a lot. These are Baba's words. And as we read Everything and Nothing and all those books, we feel it. We really feel so much love, so much energy we feel when we read. You all might have read the small book, Everything and Nothing, likewise other books. Really, it's full of energy, full of love, full of so much we feel. Same word, he has used it. I really loved this article a lot. And the last line of the article is, in my articles continuing a plan of life, I shall explain what I have learned from him. So beautiful. He says he is going to write the articles and named A Plan of Life. I have never gone through, but I will like to go through A Plan of Life. Articles by Charles Furtham. And he has also written a book that I'm having, Perfect Master. But here he says in those articles, he will write what he has learned from Baba. So how beautiful. So this was the best article by Mr. Charles Furtham on the Perfect Master Meher Baba. So immediately, anyone want to read or any questions or any shares? If not, then immediately we'll go on page number 33, second article, and that is also very interesting, very lovely, by James Douglas, A Talk with the Strange Messiah. So, any hand raise, any doubts, any questions, any shares, anything like that? Anyone will like to read? Or shall I continue?
Yes, Mayor Krupa. Did you, you've seen the film with Purdom interviewing Bilaba Baba in 1931? Have you seen that film? Yeah. Yeah, so beautiful. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, Baba. And you see the
yes,
you see the
that is
side, you
Nasik
see
birthday plan,
the left
right?
side of Baba's face is so exquisite, exquisite. And he says we're too material in the West.
Sorry, perhaps I didn't get you. Can
Thank you,
Betty
Mayor
help me
Krupa.
understand? Yeah, I saw that film 1931. It is Nasik birthday program, if I'm not wrong. I think I have to reduce voice or don't know. It is somehow echo. I'm hearing my own voice. So, shall we continue reading? Will anyone like to read? Is Mr. Chittaranjan Gangade is there? The same screenshot can be done. Okay, so I think I'll start reading, right? As she has posted it here. Yeah. Page number 33, a talk with the strange Masiha. Again, I'm hearing my own echo. My sound only I'm hearing. Why so? Jai Baba. Okay. By James Douglas. Shri Sadguru Meher Baba received me yesterday afternoon in his bedroom in a Kensington house. Usually a former interviewer will meet somewhere in the hall something. But Baba, as he said, simplicity, childlike simplicity. He has been described as the Indian Christ or Masiha. He arrived in England on Friday. His mission, his disciple declare, is to save mankind, east and well as west. He is a saint and a mystic, a Mahatma and a spiritual Superman. It is said that he can perform miracles. When I arrived, a procession of his disciples filed out. First, a bevy of beautiful young white girls passed me. Then several young Indians departed. Meher Baba was sitting on a sofa. He wore a dressing gown and a soft blue silk scarf around his neck. He has described how Baba was, what he wore, how he was sitting. Now, what he is like is the heading, what he is like. As you see here, yeah. He is a slender man of 38, but he looks 10 years younger. He wears his dark brown hair very long. It flows down to his shoulders. He reminded me of the young. And then that word is not there, unreadable, it is said something. Okay, James Douglas. Okay, so this brown hair Mehra, which Mehra liked a lot. He says Baba is of 38 years, but he looks 10 years younger. He looks like 28 years. Say, please forgive me. Why in between this little one? No, if we just go on reading, sometimes our mind may slip. We may not be so attentive. But if we speak the same thing in talkative, simple language, our attention is catched better, I suppose. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Next we go. He has a brown mustache. His face is ascetic, like yogis. Huh? The chin is rather pointed and most powerful. His forehead is lined. His eyes are large and radiant. They sparkle with happiness and serene joy. His smile is charming. It is gay and harmonious and childlike. We really miss that Baba's physical form. I'm told that he is a brilliant cricketer. He is ebulliently healthy and natural in his manner. So energetic he is. His hands are eloquently artistic. They are the hands of virtuoso. Virtuoso. Thank you. His hands of virtuoso, like a person artistic hand, who's expert in arts. And Baba's fingers were very slim and becoming narrow in the end. And they used to continuously like this. So we asked and we were told that he is doing some spiritual work. In the films also we see that continuously Baba's fingers are moving. They talk. He says Baba's fingers talk. They are hypnotic. He has immense magnetism. As I entered the room, this is very important, lovely, interesting. And then we'll move on to page number 33. As I entered the room, I felt a rush of personal fascination and force. It seemed to fill the chamber with its warmth. As he grasped my hand, I felt a strange thrill. He made me sit close to him on the sofa, and during our talk, he perpetually caressed me, laying his hand on mine or touching me on the back. A very magnetic personality. He does not speak. We are on page number 34. The heading is He Does Not Speak. As a rule, I shrink from my human touch. Who says? James Douglas says. He avoids human touch. He is already thrilled with Baba's presence. As a rule, I shrink from the human touch, so I guarded myself against physical hypnotism. I armed myself with skepticism, but I melted under his enchantment in spite of my caution. He was careful not to get hypnotized, as was the rumor at that time about Baba. But he melted under Baba's powerful presence. And it was simple as well as loving at the same time. Such a magical combination. Uncommon. Meher Baba does not speak. He says he has not spoken for 7 years. Our talk was conducted through a young Indian who rapidly interpreted the master's sign. On his knee rested a small board with the letters of the Roman alphabet painted on it. His slim fingers flickered from letter to letter. He does not spell words. His telegraphy is too rapid for that, as we all know. As only Baba's people, may it be Chanji, Chimani and all that, or C.D. Deshmukh at times, only those can read Baba. Maybe Baba had given them specific powers, I wonder. Because Baba many times used to spell only a first letter or first 2-3 letters, and they used to fill the word. They used to know what it is. And that description wonderfully mentioned in the next article, we'll see 3. We'll go through it.
Meher Krupa, Mani, Baba's sister Mani, could read the board upside down.
Yeah, perfectly
he said that, yeah.
Yes.
So, and Purdom in that film I'm sure he's reading on a piece of paper what Baba's saying. He's not reading his flickering fingers. No.
Yeah, and
Yes.
Baba has said about money. Once Baba said, Erich is very brilliant and very
Yeah.
good in reading my signs, but money is above him. Money is still better, very good in
Reading.
reading the gestures and still more brilliant and intelligent. Yeah, that's that. And there is a video also for you all, whether you have watched, I think you might have watched. Please search for it. There is a video of Mani and Erich. They are talking about Baba's gestures. There
Yeah.
are 2, 3 videos, lovely videos. They take us in Baba's company and in the company of Mani and Erich too.
Yeah.
Lovely Mandli. They were so simple, so full of love, which we never find anywhere in the world. Yeah. Thank you. His interpreter reads, his telegraphy is too rapid for that. Next, his interpreter reads the alphabet upside down. I do not know how he does it, for the pace is as swift as speech. So fast, Baba used to do that. And you know, after one of the silence, they always used to request Baba to break the silence. And in 1965 or so, it is said that Erich requested Baba, Baba, now please give up your silence. Baba said, is it? And what Baba did, you know? Baba, from that point on, Baba gave up using the alphabet board. On that request of breaking the silence from Erich, Baba quitted. Baba stopped using alphabet board. Anyway, I had prepared a questionnaire with the help of Sir Dennis and Ross. James Douglas say here that he had prepared a questionnaire with the help. I'm so sorry. Is there any meeting next? Can we continue? I
think we can continue.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Kindly let me know if we have time. Yeah. So 2:30, lot of time. As long as you wish to continue, we'll continue. At least we'll complete this article.
It's
Is it
so
good?
beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
beautiful. So beautiful.
And the next is so interesting. That is which is narrated by Primrose Dadachanji, and it is also from James Douglas only. That meeting, it is next also is very interesting. So we'll continue. I had prepared a questionnaire with the help of Sir Dennis and Ross, the Oriental scholar. It was designed to trap the teacher, but he smilingly threaded his way through it without stumbling. He's the master of all. His mastery of dialectic is consummate. It was quite Socratic in its ease. He frequently put questions to me, which startled me by their penetration. Baba put questions to Mr. James Douglas, but he never evaded a direct question. His simplicity is very subtle. I am a Persian, he said. I was born in Pune, but my father and mother were Persians. He is above races and religions. He is universal. He is one with God, and God is everywhere in everyone and in everyone. Do you know Gandhi? I asked. Yes, Baba says, yes, I met him in the steamship Rajputana. He is not as far advanced as I am. He asked me to help him, but I will not help him until he abandons politics. I have no politics. I have a wonderful story about this relating to this of my father, but we'll see to it. I think it is on 28 in Sunday lecture. So Baba always said to be away from politics. He assured Gandhi that he will help him, provided he gives up politics. So first Gandhi said that he will do it. Oh, he cannot leave politics, quit politics, unless India gets freedom. So as soon as India, he said, he gave promise to Baba that once the India gets freedom, he will leave politics and join Baba's ashram. But he didn't fulfill it. We are now page number 35. Next question, Mr. James Douglas puts to Baba. Are you a Mahatma? I asked. He smiled. Baba has said in one of his discourses, lectures, that I am not Mahatma, saint, Pir, Wali, I am above all, I am the highest of the high. That message is highest of the high, as we all know. So this Mr. James Douglas asked Baba, are you a Mahatma? Baba says, what is Mahatma? He replied, I know the truth. You live in London. You know it. I know. Are you divine? He asked, are you divine? He smiled. Baba says, I am one with God. I live in him. Like Buddha, like Christ, like Krishna, they knew him as I know him. All men can know him. He is not declaring here that I am avatar. He knows how to be answered so that the questioner understands it. Next is, there is no evil. Yes, here it is. There is, so beautiful this is. There is no evil. Very important. Now the question, have you solved the problem of evil? Baba says, there is no evil, he said. There are only degrees of good. There are only degrees of good. So evil is the lowest or lower degree of good. Beautiful, as only God can say. In his message on love, Baba says, as air is everywhere, love is everywhere. So Baba was asked, what is then this struggle, fighting, envy? So Baba says, those are the lowest form of love, opposite forms like magnet. The word is perplexed. Next question, the word is perplexed with disaster. Is there any way out of the word crisis? Yes, Baba says. Then the question, how long will it last? Baba says, only another year, so specific, see. Then there will be recovery and deliverance. Question, Christ's mission was accomplished in 3 years. How long will your mission last? Baba says, 33 years. He replied. Actually, if we see, if we take 25 and Baba dropped, in 68, Baba says his mission is accomplished satisfactorily. And Baba started his silence in 1925. Even if we take that, then it comes to 43 years. What is your secret? I asked. The elimination of ego, he replied. So were the questions, and such a small and to the point, important answer as only God can give, Baba gives. Then I put my question here. James Douglas says, have you a scripture, a Bible, a Quran, an inspired book? No, I teach. I am a teacher. Now we will wonder. Here Baba says, I am a teacher, because that time God Speaks had not yet come out. The first work on God Speak was done by Ghani. And we are waiting for that whatever copy to come out, publish. Anyway, and here Baba says, I have come not to teach, but to awaken. Then how this? No, I teach, I am a teacher. Because how those, that time, 1932, Western world, their mentality, how they can understand, only he is giving the answers, I think. If there is any other opinion can be put here. Do you believe in Buddha and the Eightfold Path? Yes, all religion is ascent by stages to perfect union with God. What do you believe in? There is only one God for all men. There is only one God for all men is Baba's answer. Then the question, what religion is nearest to yours? We know this answer, Baba's answer. Baba answers, all religions are revelations of God. In Tiffin lecture, Baba has answered this very nicely. Those avatars, that period, they had taught something, and then that religion is known by that avatar, by the name of that avatar. As Buddha, so Buddhism. Christ, so Christian. Likewise. So who, like Zarathustra, Zoroastrians. So whoever that avatar had taught, his name is given. That was okay for that period. Now is a different period. That's why he has to again. He has to come again and again. Huh? Every 700 to 1,400 year, he has to come again and again to refresh it, to change it. Not change, but to deliver as per the mentality of the people at that time. How far they can digest only that. So, Baba, when Erich Kaka, Mr. Don Stevens insisted, Baba, he is the one who saw Baba's that secret book last. And when he requested Baba, so to, when it will be published or to publish it. So Baba says it's not a right time now. Anyway, next we go to our reading. All religions are revelations of God. Question, is there a future life? Baba says, yes, the soul does not die. I goes on from life to life. Sorry, it goes on from life to life till it is merged in God. So when soul becomes over soul, till then, next birth, reincarnations, page number 36. Nirvana? Question. Baba says yes, but not the loss of the self, because there is a difference. God realization, nirvana and nirvikalpa samadhi. Does the self survive? Baba says yes, but it is merged in God. Self survives as an individuality. That self now is in its real self, maintaining its individuality. That is what Baba says in God Speaks, if we remember. So the same Baba says here in short, but it is more, yes. Does the self survive? Baba says yes, but it is merged in God, is very important. The soul is not the brain. It functions the brain. The brain is its instrument of soul. Question, who has sent you to save mankind? Baba says, I know, it is my whole life. My ecstasy is continuous. It is unbroken. Question, do you sleep much? Baba says, the Sadguru smiled. He held up 3 fingers. 3 hours, said the interpreter. And Sadgurus and Avtaras do not really sleep. What is our sleep? When we sleep, Baba says, we go to our original form, that is God, temporarily. Our sanskaras are no sanskaras. Temporarily, for us, this gross world does not exist. Everything vanishes, but that is temporarily. But Sadguru and Avatar already they are God. So they don't have to go to their original form. So they don't sleep. If at all their physical body needs rest, they just rest. They don't sleep. They just rest. Are you married? Question. So the 3 hours was, said the interpreter Baba's answer. 3 hours sleep. Question. Are you married? He means Baba smiled in wonder. Sex does not exist for me. He is God. No duality, no male female, non-dual. When he is non-dual, pleasure or pain, happiness or sad, wealthy or poor. Likewise, male and female, this duality does not exist for him. So simple. Question, is God a person or a power? Baba says, God is both personal and impersonal. So nice. Saguna Nirguna, what we call. Formless and without form, what we say in Pravadigar pair. He is formless and in the form also. So God is both personal and impersonal. He is in art, in literature, in everything. There is no aspect, no field of this material life where God does not exist. Are you a pantheist? That means the one who revere all the gods. With that reply. So you are lucky. You are lucky, yes. Here. No. He smiled. Baba smile says no. When you know God, it is plain. The self is one with him at the height of experience. Question, why am I not happy? Baba says, you have not grown out of self. He smiled. So one has to become selfless. Not to think about self, not to bother about self, no selfishness. That's the answer. Then we'll be happy. So nice. He had said that he would give me a minute, but the minute lasted an hour. Baba had given only a minute to James Douglas, but they talked for an hour. You are lucky, said a disciple. He likes you. The Sadguru is going to rest house or ashram at Combe Martin in Devonshire for a few days. Then he goes to New York. He is serenely certain. He is serenely certain that he can redeem mankind and end its discords. I wonder. So here, this article by James Douglas is complete. And then is the beautiful article, maybe we will read in our next session because it's almost 10 pages. And we have already crossed our time, but I don't mind another half an hour or so if you are prepared. As Betty says, her words is hard for me. This was beautiful.
I'd like to hear it. And also, this is being recorded, isn't it, Betty? Betty, are you recording?
I forgot
Yes,
to ask.
yes, we are recording. Rosie.
Okay, so I'd like to hear it. I mean, I have time. I don't know what other people want, but this is so beautiful.
It
It
is-
is so beautiful. May I ask, please, the name of the book?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the book, Meher Baba's Early Messages to the West.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you.
is. This is this because whatever available on online is different. Early Messages to the West by Adi Kaka is a different thing, and this is really a very wonderful book. And this is Shariar Foundation. And this one is 2009. No.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, and you believe it or not, this is Baba's choice. When I was told to read book for Baba's home, I was wondering which book shall I select. And this was out of my sight and mind, and he selected this one. Right? Wonderful. Yeah, the next article is still so wonderful. So if you are ready, whatever we can cover, we'll read. Is that okay, Betty? I don't-
Are you
Yeah.
muted, Betty? Are you
I am
muted?
because of echo. I have to
Yeah.
be, so I have to be muted. Maybe Diana, you could add.
Mayor, why don't we do whatever you feel up for? If you'd like to read some more, fine. We do have time, and if you would like to just take a pause today and continue next time, we could do that. Whatever you feel you'd like to do.
Yes. I have time. I can stop. I can continue for another maybe half an hour, as you say. I didn't get you properly. Sorry.
Well, I think that some people would like to hear some more, so why don't
Yeah.
we go for maybe another section and then we'll see how that goes. Okay?
Okay. That's fine. Okay with me. I think they don't have the time days free, no? It's so. Is it so?
We can go now if you we can
Yeah.
continue.
It's free until 2:30. Free time.
Free time. Okay. So I can continue?
Yes.
Yes.
ठीक है. Okay. Okay, Baba, let's go, Jai Baba. Page number 37, a disciple's account of the interview between James Douglas and Meher Baba by Fremrose Dada Chanji. This is written by Dada Chanji. And this interview between James Douglas and Meher Baba. And it is described by Fremrose Dada Chanji. Yeah, someone wants to say something? Jai Baba?
Is this Chanji? Same person, Chanji?
Yes,
Yeah.
Baba's first secretary.
Yes. Yes.
He was called as Dada Chanji, but his name was Fremrose Dada Chanji.
Mhm.
His surname is Dada Chan. You know Hawabi and all those from Bombay. They are his family members only. I asked her, may I have sent her message today, whether that book Chanji biography is with her. I would like to hear much. And nowadays his Mr. Chanji's health is deteriorating. He has already crossed 94, 95 years age. They come to Center, Bombay Center. Anyway, so we'll continue this. I now introduce to the reader a well-known English journalist and public figure, Mr. James Douglas, and narrate his experience on meeting Meher Baba. The report of his experience was published in the Sunday Express of London, which I think we have just finished. The freedom of the English press, and it's really remarkable. Hats off. Good, you're good, lucky people. The freedom of the English press and its rights to discuss every question of public interest without let or hindrance is universally known. India needs this badly nowadays. Anyway, during his second visit to the West in 1932, when Baba stayed for a few days in England, the English papers gave him wide publicity. Several articles based on personal interviews and even imaginary stories were published, and a great deal of public opinion was generated in England, especially in London. Before publishing his account, Mr. Douglas consulted the well-known Oriental scholar Sir Denison Ross, as we just saw. With the help of him, he had prepared the questionnaire. So Mr. Dada Chanji is describing the whole episode, how it happened, how the meeting went. The day this journalist planned to meet him, Baba was preparing to visit a home for the poor in East London. So poor visit program Baba did in London too. Baba went to indoors, wore his long white robe, but when going out, he would wear European clothes and cover his long hair under a felt hat or a small beret. So it's interesting to know about Baba's clothes. But some other time, please remind me. We'll definitely discuss about Baba's clothes, who stitched them, how it was stitched, who was his tailor, and all that. If you like to know, we'll discuss sometime. The day this journalist planned to meet him, Baba was prepared to visit a home. Okay. Baba was about to leave when someone brought the news that a gentleman wanted to meet him for a moment to discuss an important matter. He had been told that he could not see Baba without prior appointment. The person insisted and was adamant on seeing Baba. Saying this, he produced his visiting card and said, "Please go and tell him that Mr. James Douglas would like to see him for a moment." His card was shown to Baba, and without any inquiry or hesitation, Baba consented. "All right, call him in." As Baba was observing silence, I was, page number 38, present to interpret the alphabet board. It's essential to note that what follows is my personal experience. That is what Dada Chanji says. And so very important point here. Baba was going for a poor visit, poor home visit. And still Baba accepted his visit. Baba had given him 1 minute and it lasted for 1 hour is an important thing. So page number 38, first para, it starts with the word before. Before entering the room, Mr. Douglas stood at the threshold, gazing all around and glancing for a while at the opposite wall, hesitating to step in. He stopped at the door. He was hesitant to go inside. I was obliged to say, "Please come in." Dada Janji says him, "Please come in." Without giving any reply, he looked around again. Very hesitatingly, he put one foot on the threshold. The other foot was still outside, and he stood in that position for a moment. I witnessed all these movements with surprise. Why should such a robust man hesitate to come in? I wondered. The next moment, he entered the room. James Douglas was hesitant to go inside. He was observing. He stood startled, as if in a shock. Beads of perspiration appeared on his face. He was perspiring. His body began to tremble. It was a cold day in April. We were all dressed in warm clothes, and I was surprised to see Mr. Douglas perspire. He tried to speak, but his throat was choked. He tried again, and while wiping the perspiration from his face, he asked, "What is happening to me? Will you please tell me?" Sorry. So the person who was insistent, who was very insistively asked for Baba's visit without any appointment, and who was adamant on this visit, what is his situation? He has stepped in one foot, other he is not picking up. And he is perspiring. He was startled. Baba gestured, and then he asked, "What is happening to me?" Baba gestured, pointing to a chair near the sofa, and I said, "Do not fear. Come forward. Sit here." He did not move and said, I feel a tremendous power here. Will you please tell me what is happening to me and from where that power comes? Baba again pointed to the chair in front of him and conveyed, come forward, sit here. So he felt tremendous, Mr. James Douglas felt tremendous power in the room. And he was perspiring, he was trembling, and he wanted to know what is happening to him and where from this power comes. Baba again asked him to sit in a chair. Come forward, sit here. But the visitor hesitated, stood near the door, and asked, will you please tell me what is happening to me? What is that power? Where does it come from? Again, pointing to the chair, Baba gestured, come and sit down. He again pleaded, now this is fourth time, but will you tell me first? Baba smilingly gestured, I'll tell you, and put a question. Have you anything else to ask? He again repeated pleadingly. Now see, so many times, such a patience Baba was showing. Before I ask you anything, will you not explain this to me? I am eager to know. Baba again began moving his finger on the board. I shall explain all that to you. But tell me, why have you come here and what do you want to ask? He moved closer and came near Baba and said, I have come, we are on page number 39. Paragraph starts with, he moved closer. He moved closer and came near Baba and said, I have come with the intention of having a long discussion with you and get some answers to my questions. You can ask whatever you want, Baba reassured him. Your original name, as Baba's finger moved on the board, I read Merwan Sheriar Irani. Here, he got the urge to read Baba's board for himself and requested me, would you please let me read the board? Most willingly, I replied, Dadachanji replied. I stood watching this new experiment. I sat on the edge of the chair and tried to read the board, looking at Baba's fingers move on the board. Baba slowly pointed his name with his finger on the board, M.S. Irani. But Mr. Douglas could not read it. It was necessary for me to interrupt and say, he is pointing out his name to you with his finger. He said, please let me try again. And bending over the board, requested Baba to move his finger again. Baba again spelled M.S. Irani, but Mr. Douglas could not decipher it. But why can I not understand? He asked dejectedly and suggested, let me take some other letters and see whether I can read them. Baba patiently agreed. So much patience Baba has shown. Like a child, repeatedly to the author of age, he is asking, write it again. I want to read board myself. Dadachanji was reading. Baba patiently agreed. Another sentence was pointed on the board. My name is, so Baba might have. He read the first two letters, my name, and failed to read the rest. Mr. James Douglas failed to read the rest. I read the letters again. Again, Dadachanji read them. He began to look at me rather perplexed. How can you read from there? He asked, because Dadachanji was now reading the alphabet board in a wrong direction. This is the right direction. He was reading not because he was standing in front. How can you read from there? He asked, coming up to me, and that too from the opposite side. I explained, it requires only a little practice. It is not at all difficult. Baba at this stage rather solemnly interrupted, please come to your original topic. At this hint from Baba, the visitor began his interview. At this hint from Baba, the visitor began his interview, which I recorded in my diary, says Dada Chanji, and here goes the interesting interview. Page number 440. Question, your nationality? Answer, I am Persian. Please listen. Question, where were you born? Answer, in Pune. Question, that is India? How can you be then called a Persian? You are born in India. How do you say that you are Persian? Answer, my parents have a Persian lineage. Question, are you a Zoroastrian? Answer, I was born to Zoroastrian parents. Please listen carefully. Question, which is the best religion today? Answer, Baba says, I consider all religions equal because all religions are different paths leading to one God. All religions are different paths leading to one God. Beautiful. That's what we have been taught since our childhood. Question, what is your opinion about the Christian religion? Baba said, Jesus Christ has realized God. Therefore, the religion based on his divine teachings should be good. Question, what religion do you profess? And Baba says, I am beyond caste and religion. All religions belong to me. Though I do not belong to any religion, caste, or creed, I am one with God, and God resides everywhere and in everything. Question, are you a Mahatma? Baba says, what does Mahatma mean? Whom would you call a Mahatma? He who realizes the Atma, the final truth, is a Mahatma. I know truth. I experience it personally. As you know, London, by staying here for years, if those who have not lived in London or seen it want information about London, they must get it from outside or through other means. But living in London, you have personal knowledge of it. So you have no need to acquire that information through other means. Do you understand? Such a nice, practical, presently available there, situation-wise example, through that example. If you know London, you have no need to know it from other sources, but others who are not living in London, not seen it, need to know it through others, other means. Likewise, if you have already realized God, for you nothing is required. Baba is God himself. Those who have not realized God will need that help, outside help. Always Baba used to give examples, whatever was at hand with him. Nice, simple examples, cup, saucer, whatever. Tiffin lecture is the best example of it. Next. He nodded and replied, absolutely. Question, who? James Douglas. Now question, do you know Gandhi? Baba says, yes, we met on the steamer Rajputana. Question, do you believe in politics? Baba says, I mix with no ism. So not in politics either. Because spirituality includes everything. One who has acquired self-knowledge has acquired everything. Question, what is your opinion about him? Baba says, about Mahatma Gandhi. Baba says he is a good soul, a learned scholar of the Gita and a seeker after spiritual knowledge. Oh, I'm sorry, we are on page number 41 and we are on question number 3. Are you divine? Baba says, I am merged in God. As Buddha, Christ merged and lived in God, I am also merged and living in Paramatma. As they had realized God, I have also realized Him. You and all others can also similarly know and be one with God. Question: is there a hill in the world? Baba says, no, there is nothing like a hill. He was taken aback for a moment with Baba's this reply. There is no evil in the world. James Douglas was surprised. Question: what do you mean? Baba says there is nothing but bliss all around, everywhere. Question: wonderful. How can it be? Baba says it is so, a fact. He got up from the chair and asked his questions more forcefully. Who? James Douglas. Question: then how do you explain theft, fraud, helplessness, dishonesty, immortality, slaughter, and a host of other evils spreading around the world? Are they not evils? Answer: Baba says, not necessarily. Question: then what would you call them? Baba says, it's all a degree of good. This is the whole discussion about on evil. I'll tell one nice story about my grandson on this matter. He heaved a sigh, rubbed his forehead with his hand, and said, oh God, how astonishing! Why did poets and philosophers not explain this fact so simply? There is no evil, everywhere happiness, but evil is a lowest degree of good. So he is surprised why philosophers have not explained this fact so simply that it's a degree of good. Evil is a degree of good, low degree of good. Baba continued, as I said earlier, there is nothing except bliss all around in the world. What is in the world? The whole world is filled with only God. God is everywhere. God is in every being. God is in everything, in every hook and corner, in the smallest particle of dust and everything. If God is everything, what is God? God is love. God is energy. God is infinite bliss. If God is infinite bliss, and if God is everywhere, so bliss is also everywhere. So A plus B, equation solved. Got it? Agreed or not? I want to know from you. So, Baba continued, as I said earlier, there is nothing except bliss all around in the world. What the word calls evil is a degree of good. Page number 42. I don't know whether I had sent her. Sure. First line, sure, sure. How easy and straightforward. It is wonder why the world cannot understand such a simple matter. Question: will you please tell me when the world will understand this simple principle? Asked James Douglas. Baba answers, when its angle of vision changes. Is the perspective. From which angle we see those things, it depends upon that. If we see God everywhere, if we know God is happiness, we'll see happiness in everything. We will not be sad with anything. So Baba's answer in so few words, when its angle of vision changes. Question: but when? Baba says that working has begun from within. Everyone has to work on self, and it has to begin from within. Thank God, sighed Mr. Douglas. Then he puts the question, what have you to say about the present critical period of the world? The momentary crisis prevalent today, everyone ready to throttle everyone else. Turmoil all around. When will these calamities subside? Baba says, not till there is a change of heart. Unless there is change in everyone's heart, it will not change. So we cannot say, people argue that Baba came and went and Baba said, I will change, and there is still struggles, there is some quarrels, there is some still misery. So till the everyone's heart is changed, it is not going to change, was beautiful reply. Question, change of heart? What a solution. Question, but when will that change come? Baba says, the beginning will be made within a year. Question, Christ took 3 years to finish his mission. How long will your mission last? Baba says 33 years. Question, what is your silent message or spatial discourse? Answer, elimination of the ego. Ego and separative ego to eliminate is the toughest job. Question, you desire salvation of mankind. Have you any Bible, Quran, or some such book of revelation? Baba says, though I give discourses and people take me to be a teacher, this is perfectly said. We were wondering last page, which was written by James Douglas, Baba's answer as I am teacher. And we were wondering, how can Baba say? So Baba's answer was not that. Now we reveal from Chanji's notes. Baba says, though I give discourses and people take me to be a teacher, I do not give much importance to superficial book knowledge and learning because I awaken the latent divinity within. I awaken the latent divinity within. Each soul is a oversoul. Each one is God. But we don't know it. That is latent in us. So he has come us to awake. That's why that is on the Samadhi. I have come not to teach, but to awaken. So perfect answer. In Chanji's note, it is perfectly said, but the reporter has made it in a different way. That's why we were wondering how it is so. Here it is clear. Question, do you believe in Buddha and his eightfold path? Baba says yes. Any religion is a stage by stage path to achieve complete unity with God, step by step. You wish to ask the same question about Christ, Krishna, for which also this is the answer. He got up at this and began to gaze at Baba's face in bewilderment. He was surprised and looking at Baba's face. Question, which God do you believe in? Christian or Baba says in between his question, Baba says, God is one for all. So no question of believing which God and whether Christ or whether Krishna or something else. The next question, which religion could be called nearest to your religion or belief that has the greatest similarity? Baba says, all religions are revealed by God. So all are equal. He is not able to catch Baba anywhere, catchy questions. Question, is there any life after death? Life after death? Baba says, only not for the body. Life after death is not available for body because Atma is immortal. It never dies. It takes incarnation again and again till it becomes one with God that is, God becomes over soul, soul becomes over soul, at one gets God realization. Till then, reincarnation is there for soul, but not for the mortal body. Question, that is nirvana? Baba says yes, but not after losing the original real self. Real self is never lost. So God is within. It has to be only experienced. Here, he was about to interrupt and put a question when Baba gestured to him to remain silent and continued. Though Baba says further, Baba explains this rebirth. Though the original Atma keeps its identity till the very end, it becomes one with an infinite existence of God in the end. The original existence, which is Atma, should not be mixed up with intelligence. Atma guides intelligence, but nothing guides Atma. Atma is independent. Intelligence relies on Atma, but Atma does not rely on anything. Intelligence becomes an instrument of Atma in realizing that self and has its personal experience. Atma can realize Paramatma. Atma can realize Paramatma through love, service, devotion, and surrender. Love, service, devotion, and surrender can make realize Atma, God realization. Atma becomes whole. Paramatma, soul becomes whole soul. Question. Where did you acquire all this knowledge? How do you know the questions before I even ask you? Ask James Douglas. Baba says, I can understand all that easily. Question. You did not reply to my last question as to how you understand and know all this. Baba smilingly replied, because I am one with the infinite. So fortunate you all are, we all are, that we understand Baba, understand in the same sense. He has bestowed that grace upon us that we take him as God, we take him as avatar, and we have that conviction. So all these questions do not trouble our mind. So fortunate we are, so thankful to Baba. Now we are on page number 44, and Mr. Douglas was taken aback. This was a divine assertion, but was substantiated by divine knowledge. He carried the subject further in order to test Baba's unique powers. He wanted to test Baba's powers. Question, what is your mission? Baba says, spiritual salvation of mankind in the East, the West, everywhere. Question, are you sure you will be able to do so, especially in the West? Baba says, certainly, with as much conviction as you are talking with me now. In fact, that is the reason for my incarnation. So profound. Question, who sent you here or ordained you to bring salvation to mankind? He is highest of the high. Who has to tell him? Answer, Baba says, I know that. It is my life to help mankind to achieve salvation. Baba says, is his life. So profound. He had conviction in his heart about Meher Baba's divine powers, but intellect did not accept that fact. Dada Chanji says, it was a fight between the head and the heart for Mr. James Douglas. Baba placed his hand in his, and both sat quiet for a moment. The fire of struggle between the head and the heart within James Douglas was calmed by Baba's touch. His face reflected inner joy, and he lifted his eyes and glanced at Baba's beautiful face and asked, "Do you always remain in bliss like this?" See, there is a conflict between head and heart with James Douglas. His heart accepted Baba's infinite power, but his head was struggling. And what Baba did, needed guidance. And so lovingly and compassionately, Baba sat by his side. Baba took his hand in his hand, and this Baba's touch gave him infinite bliss. And it gave him inner joy and calmed the conflict in him between his head and heart. Such a great thing. So he asked Baba, "Do you possess this infinite bliss always?" Just with the touch, it was transformed to Mr. James Douglas. So Baba says, "I enjoy bliss eternally. I enjoy bliss eternally. That is my eternal existence." Question: why am I not blissful like you are? Asked James Douglas. And Baba answers, because you have not stepped out of the false ego. Similarly, the people of the world remain unhappy on account of ignorance. In fact, nothing exists except bliss everywhere. We are unhappy because of our ignorance. What is our ignorance? We are God, but we don't take ourselves as God, and we take ourselves as a human being. I am Gianna, I am Betty, I am someone like that. He was about to ask some question. Oh, sorry, I skipped something. Nothing exists but bliss. Question: is God a person or a power? Baba says God is both personal and impersonal. He is present in every person and everywhere, in all walks of life, in art, literature, beauty, everywhere God is present. He was about to ask some question in this juncture, but Baba stopped him with the gesture of his hand and asked him to listen. Baba says, "You must not believe that I am a pantheist. In fact, I do not believe in any particular ism. I know everything by personal experience. When you realize God, you understand everything easily. The highest experience is to know the self. That is merging in God. Once you merge in God, you know everything. What is situation? God Himself, Avatar Himself, has to give the reasoning, explain, and tell everything, where from He came, how He knows, and all that. So, the next question: are you married? Baba says, "I am beyond sex." The next question: how much do you sleep? Baba says, 3 hours. Next, what are your future plans? Baba says to stay a few days in Devonshire ashram, then go to America. Then question: well, sir, will you please bring an end to my hours anxiousness by replying to my first question? His first question: what is happening to me? He was trembling, perspiring. He could not tolerate that power. So he asked Baba to answer the first question. Baba's face beamed with a beautiful smile. He good humoredly gestured to me to convey to him, "You are very fortunate." Baba asked Chanji to explain him, and Chanji says to him that he is very fortunate. Thank you, sir. Question: what is the reason for the power pervading the room? He asked. He is not giving up. James Douglas asked, what is the reason for the power pervading the room? Where does it come from? Baba, with a smiling face, Baba replied on the board, "It is due to my presence." He took Baba's hand in his own hand and pressed it to his eyes. Mr. Douglas thanked Baba and asked his permission to leave. It is indeed possible to scale the dizzy heights of greatness of humility. Real greatness lies in acknowledging humbly the greatness of a person superior to us. That is true moral courage. Saints and Mahatmas never enter into discussion with any person. Meher Baba had never entered into such a long conversation with any visitor. He gave a few minutes audience to those who came to meet him in Europe and America. The meeting could end with a handshake or a blow, but it was sufficient for inner recognition and exchange of love. Baba would say, those who have love and understanding do not need talk or discourse. It is for this reason that I have considered the lengthy interview of an hour with Mr. James Douglas important and have narrated in detail. Dada Chanji explains, because Baba never gave so much time, so much explanations. So, though we have seen the publication of Mr. James himself and the same in the mouth, from the mouth of Chanji, the group of lovers gathered in the house were naturally curious to know as to what was discussed and eagerly looked at Mr. Douglas as he was on his way out. Before anyone could ask anything, Mr. Douglas said, "Really a wonderful person. I have never come across such a powerful man. I have never been thus defeated. He seems to be an unusual master. I have doubts whether any of you can know him completely." One of them asked, "Are you satisfied with him?" Satisfied? I am amazed and bewildered. We are pleased to hear that. Someone said and again asked, "Is he not marvelous?" No doubt he is. What do you think about him? I cannot say that at length at this stage, but I must say that it does not matter what he says, but it does matter what he is. Having said this, he departed hastily. The article was published in Sunday Express on Sunday, April 20, 1932. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai.
Jai.
Love you, Baba. Love you all. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, Baba. Thank you so much. Jai Baba.